excuses to celebrate are good. I might be talking a bit quieter because I don't know how well the sound travels next door. And normally I'm here alone. But celebration is good. And I think finding excuses to celebrate is good. And if you're someone who's up to date on certain calendars, you would know that tonight is the biblical holiday of Sukkot, which is a celebratory holiday. And it's celebrated different ways. But I'm going to be participating. And for us, it's food, music, fun. It's just an enjoyable time. So, yeah, I'm taking a half day off work and then working late tomorrow to make up for it, just so I can enjoy the holiday. And so, I do think people should prioritize celebration. It can be easy to feel like it's unearned, or especially when it's celebrating us, to be like, wow, I don't like that. I personally get annoyed when people are bothered by getting attention on their birthday. It's like people want to celebrate you and acknowledge you. That's cool. I understand not wanting to be the center of attention, but acknowledgement's nice, isn't it? And not from like a pride or ego place, but for people to say, hey, you're really important in my life and you're valuable and I appreciate you. And that's a cool thing. And celebration for holidays is recognizing something specific. So every holiday we have is meant to honor in some capacity, which I think is better language than recognize, because we're honoring something. So, religious holidays, you're honoring your faith and your God, but they're usually connected with specific events. Like for Christians celebrating Christmas, it's celebrating the birth of Jesus, which is likely not actually on Christmas, but there's no official date. So that's one that we celebrate that day. Or Good Friday and Easter, celebrating death and resurrection. And you have plenty of other holidays that are all just built around, let's acknowledge this, like Memorial Day, recognizing our country, and Veterans Day, recognizing our veterans, and 4th of July, our independence. Like, we're honoring certain events, and I think these are important. And I know some people are like, I'm not a big celebrator of this thing or that. And I would actually challenge people to really pay attention to what holiday is being celebrated. I hear it more and more lately with like 4th of July, people not celebrating. And I understand that to some extent because our country is getting less interested in itself, which I think is a problem. And I think it's good to look at independence and say, hey, this is worth celebrating. And it can be for any holiday. There's lots of holidays that some people celebrate and not everyone does. So the holidays as a country that everyone gets off, those are nationally recognized and governmentally recognized. But for instance, a lot of the biblical holidays don't. So the High Holy Day season right now, it's not going to be days off for the country. There's going to be personal days off for people. There's going to be specific companies that recognize it, organizations. And it's true for a lot of religious holidays and celebratory days. But also think about, if you're married and you have your anniversary. For me, I take that off every year. I don't work on my anniversary for any reason. I'm off. And I'm unreachable because I'm honoring and celebrating the start of my nuclear family. And it's great. People celebrating the anniversary of sobriety, or even the death of a loved one that matters, and you celebrate their birthday still or their passing. We do it as a way to honor. So I do think that's really good and really healthy. And, people that don't remember important things are lost people. And that's one of the reasons why traditions are so important and holidays are so important and remembering events are so important, because it's part of identity. So for instance, if you have certain issues with, here's a good example. So like Martin Luther King Day, it's important that we recognize this person who did a lot for civil rights. And some people value that more than others. And for some people, it hits home more than others. Regardless, this is an important milestone in our history, and we take time to remember that. He's a man that pretty much everyone in the country knows. And I think in large part that's because of the holiday. It's a named holiday. Sure, a lot of people learn about him in school, but less people are familiar with Malcolm X. Similar figure of the time, different approach to social justice and political activism. Well, we don't celebrate him the same way, and he didn't do the same things. Like, it's not like they were one to one. But taking holiday time to say this is an important day and it's named after someone, it's a big deal. People remember. Um, we've done less of it lately, but taking a moment of silence on 9/11, it's a big deal. It was a very big event in our history. And, even the motto of never forget, which I think holding some things in your memory can be problematic, but think about the Holocaust memory. A lot of the recognition of that is don't let this escape your mind, because this can happen again. And it wasn't that long ago. I think the slogan that you hear a lot for the Holocaust is not long ago, not far away, because it'll happen again is the idea. People do this, especially with the Jewish people. It happens all the time. But it's a horrific part of that cycle. But with countries, like, we're not done with genocides. They're happening currently. There's one happening in Nigeria right now. And we just don't always talk about it. So it's important to remember events. And I started off with celebration, and now I'm talking about genocides. But it's also why it's important to celebrate. Is celebration matters, even in moments where it doesn't feel like there's room. And I think it's all the more important for people to celebrate holidays when their country's at war, when your life isn't going well. It's important that everyone involved in the Israel-Palestine conflict still celebrate their holidays and celebrate anniversaries and birthdays. And you can't let that stuff leave. It's important. And it's important to acknowledge traditions and things that bring people close together and are joyful. One of the best ways to fight pain, despair, and suffering is through joy. So it's not ignoring that things exist. It's saying, tonight we celebrate. It's worthy of celebration. And for those of you who listen, you're like, I'm not into all the deeper philosophical religious stuff. Well, actually, spoiler alert for the Harry Potter series. Big spoiler, actually, I think, for book 7 and movie 7. There's a great example there with the, is it? I'm going to get it. I don't think it's Bill and Fleur, but maybe the wedding that they have at the Weasley house. Everything's like kind of going to hell in the world around this ramping up wizarding war and the implications in the Muggle world, so to speak. And they take time to have a wedding because it's important, and guests come, and important people come, and it's this gathering of people who it's kind of dangerous for all these important people to be in one place, but they do it because a wedding is important regardless of war. And in that scene, the wedding gets attacked and people get killed and everyone scatters, and our main trio of characters leave and they don't know if their friends or family were killed, and it's a horrific end to it, but it doesn't take away that the celebration is important. I think it's actually a beautiful example of that. So anyway, celebrate. Take the time to do it. It's important. Celebrate birthdays, anniversaries, holidays. Do it. Use it as an excuse to take time off, to honor where you come from in your identity, in your cultural identity, and take it to honor other people. So choose to celebrate when you can. It's a good and healthy discipline. So yeah, that's all. Happy Monday. See y'all next week.